Bismillahir-Rahmanir Rahim. I have 3 children, 11, 9 and 6, and I have difficulties to ask them to do 5 times prayer, especially Salatul Fajr. Please give me your advice. It's very difficult to give very specific advice because the dynamics of every home is very different. Are the parents praying regularly? Have they been praying regularly? How have they managed to encourage, or what kind of encouragement have they provided to the children? I would probably just say, generically speaking, it's about maybe sitting down and maybe reading some hadith on the fadila of prayer, on the virtues of prayer. So for example, there's a famous book called Virtues of the Prayer, Fadail as-Salat. It's part of the Fadail A'mal, the whole collection. There's some really beautiful, very intense, very powerful narrations in there. So you just go through them with the children, just sit them down and say, look, this is what the Prophet ﷺ said, this is what Allah says in the Quran. I realize that helps a lot, because I remember we had a student in the group that I was teaching, and his father was not very encouraging of him to miss school for Jumu'ah prayer. So I told him a few times, but he just couldn't have the willpower to speak to his father and say, this is important, or whatever the case is. So once we went through the narrations, both the narrations that warn about what happens if you miss prayer, and also the virtues of doing prayer. And mashallah, he started. So it's about positive encouragement. That's what I would suggest to start with. What helps a lot, for example, if my children have computer time, 2 hours on the weekends, for every prayer they do in the week, they get 5 extra minutes. If they get to do it in the masjid, then they get 10 extra minutes. And believe me, they're running to do it, because that computer time is very valuable. So we found that to work. I don't know how long it's going to work for, but it definitely does work. So every time I'm going for prayer, he wants to come with me for prayer. When I'm praying at home, he wants to come and pray with me at home. So there's these different things that you can use. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make lots and lots of dua. The parents obviously have to be praying for that to happen as well.